right? It can be hard on your fingers. So one of the things you can do is you can use his lapel to do it. And this is something that always fascinates me, is like manipulating the gi. So like using his gi against him, using my gi against him, I love that stuff. I saw a judo guy named Katsuhiko Kashiwazaki. He's the first guy I ever saw like rap. Yeah, there's gonna be a quiz on that later. He wrapped the dude up in his gi as he passed his guard. And it just, I don't know, it fascinated me. So I love to use the guy's gi against him. I love to use my gi against him. So this is gonna be from, rather than a mount, this is gonna be from side control. So I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna have a nice, good side control. And that's probably what he's gonna be doing, right? He's gonna be defending. So I'm gonna undo his lapel. And when I undo the lapel and I start pulling it out, I like to pull it out at a 45 degree rather than like up, but out. And I pull it out so hopefully I get like the bottom of his skirt out as well. Cause like, I wanna get as much slack as I can, okay? And when I grab it, I don't grab it low, I don't grab it high, I grab it right around the Fuji sign, right above it. Because probably you can pick up on this, I'm gonna be passing it to this hand. So I'm here and I pull this out, and when I pull it out, I don't pull it up, I pull it 45 degrees that way. So I get it out. Now there's a million things I can do with this. I can pass it under his arm if I want, and there's a gazillion things you can do there, but since we're working on an Ezekiel choke, I'm gonna go over the top of his arm. So sometimes when I do it, I'll get my middle finger in his armpit, give him a little shoulder of justice. I'll look at his feet, and I'll push this down with my head so I can feed it here, right? You don't have to do that, you can just go over, but I don't know, sometimes I feel like if I'm here and I look, I have a really good angle. So I'm looking at his feet, and this comes over. It doesn't come over like a shoulder sling, right? It doesn't go over like that. I bunch it up, I twist it up. So his elbow is out, and I feed it. So now, obviously, I can start looking for baseball bat chokes here. Lots of things I can do to make his life miserable, but since we're doing an Ezekiel choke, I'm gonna pull this tight, and I'm just gonna bother him a little bit because I want him to take his arm out. So it's a little bit of a trick. I'm gonna use some subterfuge here. So I'm gonna loosen this up so that Scott, I might see what I'm doing with my knee. I'm here. So Scott, as soon as he takes that arm out, my arm goes in. And I go to the other side. Same thing, I'm putting my fist in that carotid artery, and I'm pulling this around, and I'm getting a choke, okay? So we're here, I open up, I bring it 45 that way. Like I said, you don't need to, you can just bring it up, but I really like to look at his legs while I do it. I just feel like I block him from what I'm doing. You can't see it. Maybe you can feel it, but you can't see it. And then I come back. So here, maybe I threaten some stuff, and I'm loosening it because I want him to take his hand out. Once his hand goes out, mine comes in. I can come to knee on belly, and look at his face, right? It's me. And that version I like because it's not hard on my fingers. Like I can hold that all day. Whereas this, after a while, if he's tough and he's not tapping, it's taxing, right? It's taxing on your fingers. So last time I'm here, giving him that shoulder of justice, pull it out 45 degrees. I like to look toward his feet. You don't need to do that. My knee is here, so that Scott is going to have a tough time getting his guard back. Over the top, and I feed. Come up, mess around with him. And then when I come back down, notice how I loosened it. As soon as that hand comes out, mine goes in. And I go to the other side. I don't go here. So on this, it's not my knuckles, it's kind of like my hammer fist is right in that carotid artery. You don't want to be at his ear. You don't want to be at his shoulder. I can see, look at that vein right there. Right there. I can come to knee on belly. I can just finish it here, but real strong, you come up, and I get the tap there. So this is Ezekiel with the lapel instead of your sleeve. Okay, questions on that? Okay, so a little bit of, you gotta trick him into getting that arm out. And he's gonna wanna get it out too. So if you loosen up, you give him he thinks he's getting some daylight, but really you're closing his lights on, okay? All right, let's give it a go, 1, 2.